created to be hitters, to go wet and take out people. So I don't know. But again, let's go back to Operation Paperclip. A lot of the brainwashing and mind control technology that the Germans had been given was brought over here. And they just continued operating here under different names with new passports. So it's a very big, and I don't know all the components. It's a very big question, but on the surface, does it look like it was done on purpose? I mean, look at the individuals, who they were. They were making change. They were creating an awareness. They were behind a very powerful, or the focal point of a very powerful movement for change, to make things happen for the betterment of everybody. Okay? And that's, again, that is the pyramidal power structure. You lop off the head, loss of knowledge, it flounders. Somebody can come in, take control, and move it the other way. Then it doesn't exist. So, okay?
Hello, sir. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
First, I wanted to thank you for bringing up a subject that I feel is one of the most important things that we can talk about here at this conference. And as far as I can tell, you're the first person to bring it up. It's the monetary system, the economic system that we predominantly use in this world. What my question is if you or the Andromedans have any insight to offer as far as the transition that we'll need in order to transcend an economic system that posits us in a position of feeling like we need to compete with each other in order to survive, making us feel separated from each other instead of being one.
That's a great question. And let me ask you this back. What are your thoughts on it first?
Obviously, okay, you can tell how I worded my question.
This is about, mentoring is about self-empowerment.
That's right.
Okay? What are your ideas on it first? It's great to ask somebody for their advice when you don't have a clue what you want to do. Okay? But that can wrongly, or to your betterment, influence you. But it's better for you to have some idea about where you stand and why you stand on a particular position or a reason to make a change than to have somebody tell you why. And that's what they want. They want us to come halfway.
I very much agree with that point, as a matter of fact, and I do have a lot of my own opinions regarding how we can do it. I just felt that it was an important subject to bring back up, and I feel that personally it goes back to something that you said regarding the creation of something that doesn't already exist on the world and never has before. And I feel that that's what we need in the form of human interaction.
We can do this. I mean, as souls, when we're not here on Earth, we've been in other civilizations that don't have a monetary system. We have this knowledge within us. We do know. We just don't have access to it at the moment. But we do know. All of us. Okay.
Thank you very much for being here. I'm very inspired by
it's an honor
your message.
For me.
Thank you, and for us too. My question to you is, you spoke earlier about the whole thing of the domain of knowing and, the intention that we have together, and how, at one point there was not this whole human rights. So how can we come together as a group collectively in creating an intention for the world that we want to see? How can we, all of us are asking, what can we do? What can we all do to collectively share our intentions of the world that we want to see, the world that we want to create? They have their intention, but perhaps we need to collectively have ours and align together about the world we envision. And I'm wondering if you have any advice or counsel or mentorship about how we can unite in that way and gather our intentions to create the world we know to be true in our hearts, we know is possible for us to live in, that we remember.
Well, that's the first step. Just talking with your friends, people of like mind, okay, just creating that vortex of knowledge, of harmonic, of frequency. And as you begin to talk more and more about it, your group grows. I'll give you an example. The best example that comes to mind is in Colorado. There were a group of women who were the wives of soldiers over in Iraq. And what they did was they formed something called the Kitchen Militia, okay? Where they would all get together, not only share recipes and about rearing children, yada, 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 and sharing information and letters about their spouses overseas, but they would also start talking about different ideas. And some incredible ideas came out of the Kitchen Militia, and several of them even started companies of ideas that came out, and now they're employing many of the people within the Kitchen Militia. So it's very simple steps. And again, individually, this doesn't necessarily, I mean, this has to be a grassroots. And all it takes is a focus, a turn of our focus away from the drama and the crap that they want us to focus on the news and CNN, etc., and start thinking about, what is it that I want? What information do I want to know? What do I want to hear? Okay, what information do I want to hear on the news? What kind of neighborhood do I want to live in? Okay, what do I want to talk to my friends about? What's really important to me? And ladies and gentlemen, back in 1993, I was telling everybody to throw their televisions away. I really was. You know, I told you so. Okay? Thanks. I mean, we have one, and we just watch movies, and we choose which movies we want. I do have rabbit ears so that I can watch the election to find out who's going to screw us for the next 4 years. Okay? And that's roughly it. And the Super Bowl. But now I can get that online, so now I don't even have to plug in the rabbit ears. So, you know, you guys know this stuff. You know this stuff. You just have to want it. You just have to want it. You got to want it so bad that you're willing to just do it and say, enough is enough. You do that with your kids. You do that with your neighbors. You do that with your bosses. Now you got to do it about your life. What is it that you really want? Get some clear, distinct ideas about what it is you really want. Because the system we have now is crumbling, and it's going to continue to crumble. All the illusion in the world is not, and it's going to continue to crumble. All the illusion in the world is not going to keep it standing because it's run its course. It's done. So we have to create something else. And we have to, because if we don't, the powers that be will create it for us. And I guarantee you, you will not be free. You won't be free. You won't like it at all. You won't. It's a given, absolute given. Because it's all about them. It's not about you. And as Spock once said, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Next question.
Alex, my name is David Farman. I represent AlienShift, alienshift.com. The page we made for you is between 250 pages, is one of the most visited. AlienShift is about new hope for humanity, and you are one of the, we could call you the new hope for humanity. I want to thank you for all the stuff you've done. Basically, my question is, I'm sorry, you want to say something?
It's not about me. It's not about me.
It's all about us. And the question I have is about us, the public. Every ufologist, past 30 years I've been watching, they write books and videos and they go home. There is no unity, there is no group that can, how can we create such a 40-man international group that would have a leader like you, for instance, or whoever else want to take the position, and we have our voice with ET and with the people of the earth. You guys are all waiting for governments. Don't do that. Don't do that. We are the governments between humanity and the ET. Do not wait for any governments to help you guys.
Hi, thanks for coming today. We all appreciate that. I guess a question I have is can you hear me? Can you hear me here? Can I be heard? I kind of have a profound question, or it's somewhat profound, I guess, which is to say that on the one hand, I think that we all want to access knowledge and we want to know what's going on, and that is empowering. On the other hand, it is also true that the more we know, to a certain extent, the more of a target we become. I think that that is just because of the fact, especially the way that we've had a lot of laws that have been passed throughout the world to monitor what people are doing, and I think we all have to be cognizant of that. And I'm asking, what do you think? How can we access? We know that there's powers that are off planet. We know that the matrix itself, or the higher self, is one of purity and strength. How do we access that in the face of the fact that we do put ourselves in, I don't know if it's at risk, but that we put ourselves in somewhat of a precarious position, and that we're facing a very, very organized and very strong union across the planet, and how do we get there? How do we empower ourselves? That's what I guess I want to ask.
Okay, let's deal with the first thing you said. I want you to do me a favor, just for a moment. I want you to get down on your knees. No, give him the mic. Just get down on your knees.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to get down on your knees. Yeah, just like that. Look at me. I want you to look at me. Can you
Not
want
what I was expecting, but
do you want to live the rest of your life like that?
No, not particularly. No.
Okay, then stand up. Then stand up. Dude, your eternal soul, all they can do is take this away from you, and you still live. Okay? It's not who we are, it's what we are. As far as forming an organization, it needs to be grassroots, because everything else that becomes a foundation or a corporation, they take over. If it's a grassroots, and everybody in this audience and every citizen around the world, if we start watching each other's back, there isn't jack that they can do to us. There just isn't.
Okay, that was dramatic. Here we go. Thanks.
I got up because I wanted to assert that we are the ground crew. Sorry. I wanted to assert that we are the ground crew, and that we are being mentored, and find out if you disagree with that this is the choir, and that we are being mentored already, whether we've been tapped on the shoulder by someone from another part of the galaxy or not. And that we should stop denying that we are already being mentored, and we already are getting the message of what it is that we need to do.
Well, I think George said it best yesterday, Mr. Green. We are extraterrestrials. You know, we're just trying to reconnect the kin, basically. You know, so yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I don't have any problem with that. The reason for my purpose for reiterating it is knowing that these things go wherever they go, and that there are so many people now coming into this, discovering it for the first time, or at least asking questions, and it's important to bring them on board as quickly as possible, to just have them to plant the seed. Hey, on some level you are already being mentored spiritually, and we just need to bring the physicality and connect that to the spiritual essence of ourselves.
Thank you.
That was my purpose.
Great.
I was just wondering about the nature of the incoming object. You said.
What was the question?
Sorry, I'm a little nervous here.
Nobody will bite you.
Yeah, you mentioned an incoming object, like 22 degrees to Uranus or something.
18 degrees right ascension of Neptune's orbit.
What's the
All I
nature?
know is that it's a planetary structure, and it's friendly.
It's not.
But I don't know anything more else about it at the moment. But I know it's friendly.
That works.
Okay, it's not Nibiru.
I have a question, but as I was standing there, I had a realization. You were talking about the holographic kind of system that they've put in place, and that you said that we need to implement that holographic system. And when you said we need to become grassroots, everything has to become grassroots, I got it on an extreme level, that by continuing to share passionately with absolutely everyone that we are creating the holographic system that they can't destroy.
That's right. It's impossible.
So, I really got it, thank you.
You're
but
very welcome.
my question is, you were mentioning that the Andromeda have the DNA to be able to